Welcome to our lessons. Today I'm going to be conducting a lesson and showing you tips on how to unpack an advert, the things that you need to look for when studying an advert, more especially for grade 12 learners for English first additional language. I'm going to show you guys critical aspects that you need to understand before even attempting to answer questions based on visual literacy. First and foremost, we need to understand that each and everything that is being advertised has its own target market. And before you can even get to the target market, pardon me, it is important to differentiate between the product and a brand. Because sometimes when you're asked to identify the product that is being advertised, most learners commit the mistake of identifying the brand and leaving out the actual product that is being advertised, which is actually will disadvantage you to get full marks. So for an example, BMW will be your brand, BMW 1 Series or X5 will be your product. So whenever you review an advert, ask yourself this basic question: what is being advertised here? Is it a product or is it a service? And if it's a product, don't only mention a product and a brand. Be careful of that. And then secondly, now coming back to the issue of target market. For you to be able to get the target market question correct, what you need to know is that you must study each and everything that is being said in the question paper or in an advert by the advertiser. How the advertiser is used words to sell the product for you will help you determine the kind of group or the kind of target market that will go and purchase the advertised product or advertised service. Therefore, there's no way that you can say everyone. Whenever you get the question to say identify or name the target market for this product or this for the advert, don't ever say everyone, because if you say everyone, you are literally shooting yourself on your foot and you're becoming too ambiguous unnecessarily. Do remember that adverts and cartoons are called visual literacy for a purpose. It means that each and everything that you need is actually in the question paper. So you need to get all the answers correct because all the things that you need are embedded within the question paper. You just need to check what the advertiser is saying about the product. Okay. Now, a target market, for an example, you can differentiate a target market by age, by gender, or by defining the kind of group. I had this interesting question in my class one time when I asked my learners, well, if I were to advertise a lunch bar, who would be my target market? And I got interesting answers where others will just say girls, others will say boys, others will say said children. No. Because that's a kind of product that will need you to expatiate, to explain. I would say somebody with a sweet tooth or people who like sweet things. So it depends on the product that is being advertised. Don't ever say everyone when you're asked to identify the target market. And then again, there must be a correlation. There must be a relationship between the picture that is being used and the message. When you cannot be advertising your car, then you use a picture of a baby who's crying. There's no relationship between the two. So whenever you study an advert, ask yourself, what is the advertiser saying about the product? You study the message, and then you check the picture that is being used. How does this picture fit in the advert? How does this picture help to enhance, if not to emphasize, the message of the advertised product or advertised service? And then again, when an advertiser includes information such as website addresses, email, the sole purpose of doing that is for you as a customer to inquire. If you need to inquire further about the product that is being advertised, you can use those channels of communication to reach out to the advertised product or service. Now, with that said, again, I'm going to use this advert that you see here to unpack it to you, to show you how to unpack an advert when you see it in the question paper. Now, when you look at this advert, first and foremost, I see a picture of Flora. Pardon me, it's not colorful, but I believe that you will be able to see. I also see a picture of a character with a body that is made up of seeds, and the head is also shaped like a heart. And then interesting enough, or rather intriguing, I also see that the bucket of Flora or the container of Flora is wrapped by a rope. And then I go to the message. The message says full of omega-3 and 6 seed goodness. And furthermore, they say that Flora is made from seed oil. Seeds are high in essential fats, omega-3 and 6, which are good for your heart. Now, especially those who are in grade 12, it is important at this grade to understand the kind of language that is used. Remember, The sole purpose of an advert is to attract the customer. So it is your duty as the reviewer of the advert to see how the advertiser has used the language techniques, font size techniques, picture techniques to attract the customers. The font size will be different. For an example, full of omega-3 and 6 seed goodness. All these words are bolded, all right? They are darker, they are bolded, and the following underneath message is not that darker. So if words are bolded with a larger font, is to emphasize the message. But what is being emphasized here is to emphasize the message, one, but also to attract the customers. Because even when you go to the stores, whenever you pass by a store and there's a sale, they will always write the word sale with big letters, bolded with colorful, using colorful colors. And it is because the sole purpose of doing that is to attract more customers, to grab your attention. So therefore, the font size also is one of the techniques that an advertiser uses to grab your attention. Now, as I was going to the message, how remember earlier on when I started, I said it is important for you to know the relationship, to study that there must be correlation between the picture used and the message. Now, when I read the message, it says full of omega-3 and 6. And when I look at the image, I see a container of Flora filled up with seeds. So therefore, the picture helped to support the message that the product is packed up, if not, it's full of seeds, or omega-3 and 6 seeds. I can see that by looking at the container of Flora. And then now, as I was saying, that the two language techniques that are commonly used in advertising is what we call persuasive language and emotive language. I'm going to try to make it practical and simpler for you. If I say my car is the best in the world, that is persuasive language. I will explain why I say that. But if I say when you drive this car, you will feel good, that is emotive language. Persuasive language will merely convince you to buy the product by using form of exaggeration. And emotive language, coming from the word emo, deduced from the word emotional, it means that any language that is connected to your emotions. Okay. Now, when I look at this advert, they talk about love your heart. The phrase love your heart goes hand in glove with emotive. That is emotive language, because your heart is connected to your emotions. So therefore, the advertiser here has used what? Emotive language. I'm repeating it again: persuasive language and emotive language. Persuasive will convince you. Emotive will still convince you, but for you to make it simpler for you, emotive is more inclined to the use of emotions. If I say drink this, you'll feel good, the word feel, it's connected to emotions, so therefore it's an emotive language. If I say use this, it's the best in the world, that is a persuasive language. All right. So in grade 12, it's so important you need to be in a position to know with the kind of language that is used in an advert. And what is also important, again, to further show the relationship between the picture used and the message, I see a picture of a body that is made up of seeds, and the head is shaped like a heart. What is the function of this picture? Why is it important? It is important to remember because the advertiser has already said, love your heart. So the head is shaped like a heart. And then we know that the product is full of omega-3 and 6. The body is made up of seeds to ensure that the product is full of omega-3 and 6. So this is how you unpack an advert before you can even go to the questions. Because I've realized that once you can do this, it becomes easier now. It becomes so effortless for you to answer any question based on the advert you have reviewed. The first question that was asked based on the advert was that you must name the product that is being advertised. So the name of the product that is being advertised here is Flora. And then the second question was, who will be the target market? Interesting, all right? The target market, I said for you to know the target market, you must go to the message, check what the advertiser is saying about the product. Now, when I look at the message, they say that this product is full of omega-3 and 6 seed goodness. Also, Flora is made from seed oil, which is good for your heart. So the product is made up of seed oil, one, and it is also good for your heart. So therefore, the right target market, it will be people who are suffering from heart ailment, or people who are health conscious, or people who want to be healthy, because seed oil is not that fatty or oily. And then obviously they say love your heart. It means that people who are suffering from a heart disease. You see how easy I got the target market by just reviewing or unpacking what the advertiser is saying about the advertised product. Okay. And then they said there was a question again that says, how does the advertiser support the statement that the product is full of omega-3 and 6? How? Okay. How? And we go back to the relationship between the picture used and the image. I said the container of Flora is filled up with seeds. It cannot even be closed because it's wrapped by a rope. This supports the statement that the product is full of omega-3 and 6. Now, before I end the segment, there's one question. It's usually the last question of question three, where the examiner will ask you an open-ended question, whether the advert was effective or not, and they will say, explain or substantiate your answer. Most learners are unable to do justice to such questions, and I'm here to help you. Whenever you are asked to review an advert and state your opinion as to whether you are convinced or you are not convinced, please be mindful that you do not get a mark for yes, you do not get a mark for no, or you do not get a mark for agree or disagree. What we are interested in is to see your reasoning, your critical analysis of the advert. What is that you have understood about the advert? Now, if you say, yes, this advert was effective, it means that you were convinced to buy the product. There's no need for you to beat around the bush when you are asked to substantiate or to explain. You take the very same information that the advertiser has used. Now you expatiate it. You expand that into your own words. For an example, I can say, yes, I'm convinced that this advert is effective. One, because the product is full of omega-3 and 6 goodness, which ultimately means that by using the product, I will be taking care of my heart. Where did I get my information? From the very same advert. So you must learn to do justice to higher order questions pertaining to visual literacy. Now, in the next segment, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the previous question paper now, and we are going to do an analysis, full analysis now, and answer questions based on advert. I hope this was informative, and it will further help you to understand and nail English FAL paper 1 with you, Ms. Lichuti. Next time.